Today we are going to talk about one of our very favorite clients, AAON.
So we've been doing some short films with AAON.
Yeah.
So we've been like crossing that narrative space. And the HVAC industry is huge. There's so many different brands. There was this idea of putting all of the brands in a room and giving them personalities and personifying them. And what would come from that?
Their audience for these are their reps. That's the number one. Of course, the public may see it. Maybe
Sure.
they'll understand it, but definitely their reps. That's their number one driving force for this.
To author a book, you need a pencil and a paper, and to make a film, you need an entire united army.
Founded in 1999 by Jason Burks, Retrospec Films is Oklahoma's largest turnkey production company of its kind. With a full-time team of over 20 talented individuals, a 12,000 square foot studio to create in, and a resume that spans some of the world's largest brands, if you love learning about filmmaking and storytelling, you've come to the right place. On each episode, we discuss the pursuit of creating things and the problems we solve by digging up projects from the last 20 years, giving you a glimpse behind the scenes where the magic happens. You're listening to Retrospec Films from the archives.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on Retrospect from the Archives. This is our in-house podcast where we dig up projects from the past and talk about all the things that we do to make them happen, which ranges from meetings with clients and the things they need us to solve, creative development, into pre-production, into producing, all the way to the shooting, the cinematography, over to the editing, post-production, color grading, visual effects, and all the little things to get her done.
Get her done.
Joining me is Caroline Rice, creative strategist on our creative development team, and Jessica Hightower, producer, client manager, working with producing and listening and making all the lists and then shoving that thing all the way through to perfection, right?
Yeah.
Today we are going to talk about one of our very favorite clients, AAON, which is a global manufacturer of HVAC units. And I would say probably one of the most premium brands on planet Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The premium brand. They are pressing the boundaries both on the hot side and the cold side of how can we create machinery that can actually cool things that are psychotically hot, and how can we heat things that are psychotically cold. So very, very unique client. I think that's probably some of the driving reason that we like working with them. It's fun working with brands that are trying to push the limits of what modern manufacturing says is possible, and that is what AAON does, which is pretty awesome. In the same regard, with their marketing and communication, et cetera, a lot of the parts we work on, they are very excited to push boundaries and be wild and crazy.
Yes, they are.
So I want to start, we've done we do a lot of projects for AAON constantly, which is awesome. This project has its unique reason, desire, et cetera, and it is kind of complicated. It's a nuanced little thing that it's like in its category, and I'm not sure which one of you guys wants to start with. Where did this conceive? What was the point that AAON was like, we feel like we need to hit this nerve?
Yeah, so we've been doing some short films with AAON.
Yeah.
So we've been like crossing that narrative space. And the duration of these are a little bit longer, like the 8-minute space.
Right.
And so there kind of became a need for, what if we could do narratives shorter, a little bit more digestible, and just keep them still hilarious, still very us, but just a little bit shorter. And so we started kind of brainstorming some ideas for that. And one of the fun things about AAON is the HVAC industry is huge. There's so many different brands. And brands that have existed for hundreds of years as well. AAON's kind of new to the block, but they've done really well for themselves, and they have this niche, offering.
Yes.
But there was this idea of maybe putting all of the brands in a room and giving them personalities and personifying them, and what would come from that. And so, what I was going to say before is AAON has this, they're not afraid to kind of poke the competition a little bit.
Yep.
And kind of, strut their stuff in the things that they know are their strengths. This concept and this idea kind of came from, that part of their character.
Yes.
And slowly bubbled into this campaign that we're doing that is like a competitor-driven world where AAON is amongst their competitors in these different situations and helping everybody win.
Yes. Yeah.
Jess, I'm kind of curious just to set some context too. who is AAON actually trying to tell their story to? Because I think even when you see these, like your brain might go, oh, is this like a national commercial where everyday consumers are watching it? Because it's not actually the case with AAON.
No.
So talk to me a little bit about the audience for AAON.
So their audience for these are their reps. That's the number one. Of course, the public may see it. Maybe
Sure.
they'll understand it, but definitely their reps. That's their number one driving force for this, because essentially they're saying in this that AAON is the best, but they are friends with their competitors. And so it's like a friend group here. But AAON is the best. You should choose them. And we're, as Caroline said, kind of poking fun at the other competitors. So, and just their little characteristics as they're personified in their, brands. So their reps are going to understand, because that's who we made it for. And so once they see it, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely, competitor A. I was about to say one, but yeah, so that's their audience for this.
And they have a lot of reps all over the country. And so when we say reps, those are like the people that sell their equipment. And so they're the people that are actually communicating with the end user and repping, selling AAON equipment. And so these are people that also sell carrier equipment, train equipment, all the things. So they know the industry at large. So this is a very educated bunch. But I think they also were trying to do this for their internal people as well.
Yes.
AAON employs over 3,000 people. And so they take really good care of their people.
Yeah.
And they want to entertain them. They want the culture to be fun. And they really do go above and beyond to tell good stories just to the people that are literally like building the machines on the manufacturing floor. The engineers, HR. They want those individuals to watch this stuff and be like, wow, I'm so glad I work at AAON.
Yeah, because they're going to think it's funny too. Especially, poking at the other competitors.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and fire off. We've got two, and I'm not sure what we're going to see, but you're going to see what we're going to see right now.
Say cheese! Cheese!
Our system here could really use an upgrade. If everyone would just follow my process, this would all go so much smoother.
And we can start the party. Lenny! How you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see me.
Lenny, remember that game back in '87? 4 touchdowns that night. JB, you want in?
Yeah, Journey. Still got it.
If you try adjusting your follow-through trajectory 15 degrees, you might find more success with your target.
I think I found plenty of success with my target.
Am I right?
Oh, look, there's JC. She was always so popular.
Let's sync up later. Here's my card. Ladies, it was so good seeing you again. I'm gonna get us in that group that I mentioned on LinkedIn. Boss Babes Alumni Unite, be looking for the invite. Hey, don't forget about our deal. I'm telling you, the projections look... Talk to me, I'm on a roll. $40, delete that.
It's good to be back.
Hey, love your look tonight.
Wow. Well, I guess I should say the same. Looking sharp, Ken.
Thanks.
This dude's still here? Shh. He's like over 100 years old.
He invented HVAC.
Whatever. I could have invented it better.
Who are you people? Oh, welcome back, class of 1988. It was a great year for our HVAC school because that was the year that one of our brightest students entered the HVAC industry. Will the student body president please come forward and say a few words?
Thank you, Professor Carey. It is great to see everyone again. How cool is it to be back at our old alma mater, huh? Working in HVAC means being a part of something bigger. And I'm proud to be a part of an industry that never stops improving, innovating, and finding new ways to make the world a better place. We're focused, professional, and moving forward together. So keep pushing boundaries, keep learning, and as always, stay cool.
Caroline, I want to start with you. So again, like, you know, lots of good moments. You know, obviously, I guess I'm trying to think about this. You directed these. Yeah, you directed them. I was there DPing. Every now and then I might have given a little nugget in your ear that was like, make
you
sure.
helped me for
I was like,
sure.
make sure it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want 3 people to watch this that read the script and it makes sense to them.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about the conception of the creative, because I think you actually wrote the majority of this as well.
I wrote the whole thing. This is the first thing I like wrote by myself, which I've felt very proud of because it's very niche. But yeah, so this idea came out of a brainstorm with the AAON marketing team. And then, you know, I only know so much about the HVAC world. I know a weird amount for like what my job
For
is.
an average person.
But, you know, I rely on them to give me the inside scoop. So some people on their team kind of came up with some, like if you were going to do archetypes for these different kinds of characters, and kind of wrote down like some personality traits that they would see this competitor being and this competitor being. So then I took that information and I wrote like character descriptions, and I was like, this is the, you know, like the dumb jock. This is the
Old man.
the old man, the anal perfectionist.
Stuck in his old ways.
Yeah, like all of these different archetypes that we were really going to rely on when we're building these characters. And then kind of showed like what their wardrobe would look like, what, you know, the casting might look like. And then I put that back in front of them and they were like, we're obsessed with this. Love it. This is hilarious. Like they were laughing out loud. And so I was like, okay, great. This is going to work. And so then I got with our team and kind of brainstormed, okay, so what are some worlds or situations that we could thrust these people, these archetypes into to where their interactions would be funny? And one of the ideas that also came from marketing is, what if they were like at some sort of reunion? Like they all went to HVA school together and it was like the gang's getting back together. And we could play on just like typical schools, like stereotypes of like the popular kids and the nerdy kids and the student body president and the professor, but then also these archetypes that we've established with like the specific characters from the industry. So we put all that together, and that's how I came up with the first reunion script. And then from there, we brainstormed a couple of other situations. We filmed one that was like a cookout, like grill experience where they're all just getting together and being pals. And then we're going to film some more that are like camping and these other fun scenarios where it'll just be interesting to watch their quirks on display. And so that was kind of the ideation.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that one of the things that I found really fun and interesting is that I think in a world that some could consider boring, like HVAC manufacturing, right? Like somebody, I was talking to someone the other day and they were like looking for a job in Tulsa, and I was like mentioning companies I brought that I knew, and when I brought up that, I was like, AAON.
I do that too. I'm like,
and
you should
like,
really work at AAON.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that sounds boring. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
They're
it's
awesome.
not.
But I think that's one of the things that I love about their boldness of like, let's have fun and just go wildly creative with the stories that we tell, which is so very different. And these are exactly that. Like they're wildly different. Getting into like execution details, we've talked a little bit about creative, but Jessica, talking about some of the execution of these, talk to me about some of the producing elements, right? So just pulling away, like what's the kind of wardrobe? What's the kind of casting? What's the kind of locations? Like I know, like even for example, like we shot the grill one at me and Taylor's house.
Yeah.
And like I had just planted a bunch of grass seed, which helped because we had green grass back there. So I was like, this is good. So it doesn't look like a dead winter.
Right.
But dig through some of that stuff.
Well, some of the producing elements, there were 7 principal characters, all very specific. Very specific. So just putting that casting call out, and I mean, my email was so large, just all the characters, their description, their age. Some of it came down to like the color of their hair that we were needing.
That's true.
Like it was very, very dialed on that. And then I think for each character, we got about 10 to 12 people back. And once we were watching, the casting auditions, it was very easy to determine that. But
it was obvious.
Yeah, it was.
Our selects were like him, her, him, her. Like
it was so easy. Normally in casting, I'm like, well, I kind of like this because we put them on frame and then we all collaborate. And, and then I'm like, and then on this one, I was like, he has to be blank. But
which is awesome.
Yeah. So that was kind of a really easy part. But the schedule was very different. For the reunion, we needed a big space to where we could have a lot of people, which we had 30 extras there. And we were filming in the entire space, and we had like little hallways for them to be in. So that was very, very special. But another thing was, the props and wardrobe that Caroline took over. She was like, I'm never doing this again. But she killed it. It was really, really great.
I had a lot of help. Taylor helped me a lot.
Yes,
and you helped me
did.
too.
Yes. We had it dialed though. Like for every character, they had their specific colors. They had, which kind of reflected on the brand's colors too. So that way it would be very just easy for the viewer to understand. Like, oh, that's so-and-so.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, that's fill in the blank. But, and then the first day, I mean, I think we had 8 hours to shoot that. And we couldn't load in until like a certain time. And then we had to leave at a certain time. And I was like, how about I pay you $200 and you stay open 2 hours? So they paid someone like, thank you for teaching me all the things. Because now I told Taylor and Caroline, I was like, I'm going to throw money at it. It's okay.
I was like, please throw money at it. We need more time.
And I did that for, this is another project. Well, it's another AAON project. The last short film, Strike.
Yeah, the coffee shop.
Yeah, the coffee shop. Dave, the dad who's actually in this spot we're talking about, he was like, I'm not available for that day. And I was like, what about $200 more? Will you be available for that day? And he was.
Yeah.
So now he's in this, and he is so amazing. He even in his audition, he wore like glasses, the hat,
funny.
like a walker. Like
So
he
funny.
did a great job. So even though it's like complex parts for producing, it was so much fun to do it. And like going through the script and like seeing, kind of my process, I go through the script, I highlight, and I like have a sheet that I'm like writing, okay, this person's in this location, this person's in this location. And then I'm like, okay, so we need these 4 and these 4. They're not like sequential, but we'll put them together so we can shoot all of it. So I think that's one of the funnest parts is figuring out the schedule to me. I know
You're crazy.
That's kind of a nerd, but it is. And then like finding the location and talking to the people and really like, I mean, I think we found the location and we shot it in like a week and a half, So I had to get a letter of support from the Tulsa FMAC, and then I had to, show them that we had insurance. Like there's a lot of different producing elements, but I think they're all fun.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for you because we went and scouted those locations, or a couple locations for the reunion, and I like fell in love with the one that we ended up shooting in. And I was like, Jess, you have to make this happen. And she did. She crushed it, even though it was a short timeline. Yeah. And then we essentially threw an event in there, which is crazy.
We did.
A fake event in the 80s.
They were like, well, on December 4th, we're going to be putting up our Christmas decorations. And I was like, can you hold off until December 5th?
Here's some more money. Yeah, just kidding.
Here's some more money. So they held off until December 5th. And I was like, we will make sure that we're out. And that way on December 5th, it's Christmas in here. Because they put like stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's
great.
great.
A lot of fun.
Well, in summary, Caroline, which I know I guess we're not 100% done, but we're close. And, by the time people are watching this, we're 100%
we'll be
done.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel? Because it's like complicated, but really cool.
Honestly, I think this is maybe my favorite thing I've ever done, which is like it's almost like embarrassing because it's like about HVAC, but I just think something I'm always striving to do as a writer, as a creative, and as a director is just to be intentional.
Yeah.
And sometimes you like try so hard to be intentional and it still doesn't work out, or like your worst fear comes true and people don't get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of the intentionality came together and it really worked. Like when I watch the edits, I feel like this did what I set out to do. And getting to be in so many different parts of it, from the ideation to the writing to the props and wardrobe to the casting to the directing to now sitting in with Kyle on post.
Yeah.
Like, it would certainly be my fault if it was bad. So I feel really grateful that like everybody executed their parts so well to really bring that intentionality home, because even if I would have done my 100%, but then like you wouldn't have cared about the shots, or HT wouldn't have cared, or you wouldn't have cared about you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have fallen apart, but everybody brought their A game, and I'm really proud of these pieces.
It's a very small detail, but it does make me think about how the clouds and the sun kept fighting with us.
There were so many things,
and it was freezing.
Yeah,
on the second day.
We made those audibles, and that was something I was a little scared of when we were shooting, and I was like, oh gosh, editing cohesiveness, this is going to be tricky. But editorially,
it worked.
Nothing, no problems.
One thing you did that I'm so thankful for, I mean, we're talking about the grill spot now. It was freezing cold. And it was supposed to be like fall or spring.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, like
December.
40 or 30 something.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was
and
cold.
so everyone's breath was super noticeable.
Right.
But you were smart enough to be like, if we put enough smoke from the grill in their faces, it'll be fine. Which there are moments where you like see their breath. Yeah, but it
covers
works.
it a little bit.
So it's stuff like that. Like that is such a small detail seemingly on the day of, but it would have broke the edit, because there's no way to
the audience.
Yeah, there's no way to VFX out like
breath.
Air. I mean, maybe there is, but it would take a lot of time.
It would take a lot of time, and we don't know.
Yeah.
I always think it's interesting. A long time ago, I heard somebody say something like, to author a book, you need a pencil and a paper, and to there's this whole long list of it, and, and there are all these like individual things, and then that are arts. But then it's like, to make a film, you need an entire united army.
It's so true.
And the complexity of storytelling, I think about this a lot when I'm watching proofs, especially I guess at this point in my career, where I'm just like, we have to keep the audience's belief that this is correct. And it's comical how just one tiny little thing can derail their thoughts. Like, I don't think I like that person anymore. I don't think I believe that that's the role that they are. I don't think that I'm really following that that's the kind of life they live. And it's funny, in character development, you're trying to establish like who the audience sympathizes for, who the audience relates to, who the audience despises, and you're drawing those pictures with the understanding that your audience is now reflecting upon their own life, which is tricky too, because we don't control every person that sees it, and everyone lives a different life. But it is funny, like you bring up that little nuance. I think about that with so many nuances, even now, where I'm just like, I'm like, could or should they wear that type of an outfit because that sort of that kind of says that they grew up this way?
Yeah.
Or should their hair be that perfect, or should it be a little messier? Like, do those flyaways say that that person is a frazzled mess and that's a good thing, or does it say they're a frazzled mess which doesn't align with the level of perfection that their character has?
Right. Totally.
Like, those are annoying things, but when you start having that conversation, like, everyone listening is probably going, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is a very hard job.
And that's why everybody has to be good, because those little pieces of like suspicion or distrust can come from any element of the process.
Like, and there's 100.
Like you mentioned, props and wardrobe, hair, casting, whatever.
Yes.
It can come from lighting. It can come from the shot.
Yep.
And how we
Yes.
framed it. It can come from the dialogue, certainly.
Right.
And what's funny is we're over there thinking about all those things, and you're like, we have to be out of here by 7.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
we can't reshoot because there's 2 flyaways in their face. You know, so it's that yin and yang, and that's where like the Army thing is so important, because we have to be able to respect each other's craft enough to like give it the time it's due.
Right.
While like not having to spend another $200
$200
to stay in the place for extra days.
But
So
that's why the client trusts us so much, especially AAON. They know we have that powerful army.
Right.
That's why they just work with us on everything, and they really understand. Like we're gonna bring it home, and we're gonna make it 100. So
I agree.
Yep.
Well, great job, guys. We appreciate you guys joining us on this episode today. If you enjoyed it, check out some of our other episodes. We've got more than 60 or 70 episodes on our website, retrospecfilms.com, where you can hear us talk about all kinds of projects from all around the globe, doing all kinds of crazy things. So appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you next time.
bye.
Later.
Thanks.